Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil.
Does Biden know what Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at?
I think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem?
Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news?
It's a freaking inside job, man. That the entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Welcome back to another episode of Touch Me Tuesdays on the Veritas Road. Carson, back here with John. Happy to be with you guys on this cold Tuesday night in Tennessee. It was warm here, and then it got cold as balls, so I'm wearing my heavy winter jacket tonight to stay warm out there. Thank you guys for tuning in. What's up, Nephilim Hunter? Thanks for popping in. Also, thank you for all the links you've sent. Those have been great. Feel free to send them wherever. Probably DMs are easier, but really it doesn't matter. We just appreciate you sending them our way. So whatever's easier for you, man, we greatly appreciate. Couple of things before we get into the fun tonight. We have another live stream coming up this coming weekend. That's either going to be Saturday or early Sunday afternoon. We're still ironing out when that's coming. The episode with Austin Picard that we did on the Delphi murders is going to drop tomorrow at 5-ish, right, John? 5-ish?
Yeah.
Is that what you're aiming for?
Yeah.
So that episode will drop tomorrow at 5-ish on the Delphi murders. That one was wild. Austin blew, I think, both of our minds as well as some people on YouTube. Like, it was a lot. And so be sure to give that a listen. Maybe listen through it 2 or 3 times because I have at this point, and I still don't understand it all. So I'm going to go back and listen to it again. Also, we have an ep coming with the biblical hitmen, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's January 9th. Yes, at 7 p.m. So January 9th, I think that's next Friday.
Yes.
Look at me remembering stuff. I'm proud of myself. So January 9th, doing an ep on the biblical hitmen. Sounds like we're going to be talking a little bit of Enoch, maybe a little bit of fallen angels, a little bit of Genesis 6, a little bit of Jude. A little bit of other stuff. I don't know what. So yeah, I'm excited to get to know them. Gonna be listening to some of their content this week, and you guys should too, because it's fantastic. I think. I think that's all the housekeeping stuff. Anything else you can give the stream a like and a follow. Give us a follow. Give the stream a like while you're at it. Anything else I'm missing, John?
No, I think you covered it.
All right, sweet. So this week, things that touched me. A little personal rant here. I work in corporate America with a lot of middle-aged women, and I had to deal with a lot of them today. So this stream may be a little bit spicier because I'm cranky after dealing with a bunch of 53-year-old Karens all day. Just know that. First thing we have up, man, Musk is waltzing away on Twitter again. He has been pissed, along with everybody else, about Tim Walz and all the alleged fraud, and I don't know what else that's going on in Minnesota. It seems, and I looked into this a little bit, it seems like there's a bunch of weird shit going on with, like, children's food services as well as children's daycares across the entire state of Minnesota. You heard about this yet, John?
I have not.
So there are a bunch of, we've got like 3 or 4 links on this. There are a bunch of daycares around the state of Minnesota that are just being sent money. They don't have kids there. They're weird as shit. And Musk hopped onto Twitter and I can't remember what he called Waltz. He had some kind of cute little Trumpy nickname for him, you know? But a lot of weird shit going on in Minnesota with, like, and how much does Tim Walz look like a? There has never been we talked about chimeras last week, okay? I did not know China had been splicing human and walrus DNA. That man could not look any more like a gay 75-year-old walrus if he tried. Like, he looks so much like a walrus. I can't believe how walrusy he looks. Can you? Orf, orf, orf. Is that walruses? Is that seals? I don't know. But he looks so much like a sea mammal. So much like a sea mammal. Look at those eyebrows too. Like that is quite the image. A lot of people are saying, so he's obviously been accused of a ton of fraud. A lot of people are saying maybe this is how Kamala got some funding for her campaign. Allegedly. But we have a short. Wait, do we know what Musk was calling him? That's quoted in this article. I forgot. It dropped out of my head. I think he was called. It wasn't anything that clever though. It was like fraud Walz. But I guess they're quoting Musk because of his media clout. So it wasn't that good. We don't have to keep looking for it. Traitor Tim Walz. That's what it was. Traitor Tim Walz. Wow, what a clever nickname. Trump could do better. He can do it all. He's very good at nicknames. Walrus Waltz. That's what I call him. Walrus Waltz. He's very walrusy. So let's take a look at this video real quick.
So there is a $1 billion fraud scheme going on in Minnesota involving daycares, but you guys, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's get into it. So let me bring you up to speed. So this independent journalist and YouTuber by the name of Nick Shirley goes to Minnesota and exposes hundreds of daycares that get federal funding, like millions of dollars, but have no kids at all. And you guys, it is so bad and it's so blatant. He goes to this daycare center that's supposed to say Quality Learning Center, but it says Leering Center. And mind you, this place has no windows. It looks like a prison, and the only door you do see, it's completely blacked out. Now, the Leering Center has been hit with 95 violations between 2019 and 2023, but has still received over $7 million. Oh, but it gets worse, you guys. So another place he visited called Sweet Angel Childcare used to have a number, but it doesn't anymore. I found a video where they called the number, and guess where it goes to? Tim Walz. Tim Walz's office, you guys, and I had to test this theory myself to verify.
The office of Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor.
And let's not forget, he said this, where he said Minnesota's economy does not work without childcare providers, so we're giving them a raise. We're all sure of that now. Now, with all these daycares not having any children, it is imperative to note that 3,000 to 4,000 kids per year go missing in Minnesota, but that's another rabbit hole for another day. But it gets even weirder. Do you guys remember this Minnesota lawmaker by the name of Melissa Hortman?
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and
who was the only Democrat who voted against Minnesota Care, which cuts the funding for healthcare for illegals. Well, guess what? She was murdered. Oh, it's all starting to make sense now, doesn't it? And mind you, they never caught the killer, who they said was impersonating a cop who had a police cruiser, but it smells like an inside job. Now, I'm getting hundreds of DMs to look into other states because they said Ohio.
It's just so weird how even Tim will all the government stuff that goes on, right? All the Epstein-y stuff, it all has to do with kids. Even Tim Walz, who's a family man, is like, I'm not going to fuck kids, but I'll sure as hell take advantage of the daycares. It's so weird how it all somehow comes back to like childcare and children. And I don't know if that's on purpose. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but and with all the supposed child trafficking that's going on with Minnesota, and allegedly Ohio's rampant with this too. I wasn't even aware that was a thing until I went through some of these articles, but they're just sending, I guess it's like money for food, federal money for like just broke kids and their families to these supposed like preschools and childcare organizations that are just shells out there in the middle of nowhere, and people are collecting funding. And honestly, like that bit really doesn't bother me that much. It's a bunch of fiat currency we're sending them. Who gives a fuck, right? But what it makes you wonder about is, what are these like shell corporations essentially? What's going on behind the scenes? You know, all these kids that supposedly are taken in Minnesota. What the hell is going on? Where is all this money going? What are they using that money for? The fact that the government's losing money, who gives a fuck? they'll just print more. But what the idea of what's happening downstream is what I find so disconcerting. And Tim Walz, that walrus-looking motherfucker, you know he's up to something. You know that little walrus frown is up to something. Just who knows what. He's been accused with, I think it's like 70-something cases of fraud now. Not to mention he's obviously well associated with that weird, creepy, drunk bitch Kamala, or Campbellton, whatever they're calling her these days. Who the hell knows? This shit is just so weird. Any thoughts on that, John?
Yeah, this is the first I'm hearing about this, but it's like, I mean, they've got to fund and like keep up, the shit that they do at Bohemian Grove, the shit that's done at, the Epstein-like places. They gotta fund that somehow. They've gotta, run that somehow, and this is probably just, supplying one of the many child procurement operations throughout the country.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that this is very obvious.
That's the thing that stuck out to me too. How obvious it is. Yeah.
People who have watched the show and know me, I get very, very leery of what is made obvious to me in the media. So not really sure what to think about that. To the point that, like, I mean, Tim Walz has always struck me as just a massive, massive retard.
He does seem
so I don't know how much he's actually accomplishing or, scheming behind the scenes for this, because he strikes me as just kind of retarded.
Funnel cake dad.
So, he might just be kind of a, front person for it. But yeah, this is really fascinating. I have seen it on Twitter, but haven't actually really looked at it.
Yeah, it's really weird, and you make a good point. And one of the things that brought to mind, and this is kind of dark and sinister, but you talked about like child trafficking. I would imagine that's not like a steady income stream, And if you got a payload that you need to get rid of, but you need to get paid today, this is a much more steady income stream than trafficking, whatever it happens to be, kids, drugs, like whatever fucked up shit they happen to be doing. That's a much more you're getting a paycheck every week or every month or however often they send out payments for this stuff. And so you have a steady stream of essentially operational income if you want to run some kind of creepy ass trafficking crime syndicate is kind of what that brought to mind. Yeah. So it makes you wonder where exactly that money's going, what's being done with it, and especially in a state where child trafficking is so damn rampant. What the hell? And people are getting up in arms about the fact that they're like the government's losing money. Who gives a shit about that? Like, who gives a fuck about that? But who knows what's going on behind those doors? Who knows what old Walrus Waltz is or is not doing? And you're right. He seems way too retarded to be running some kind of not even international, just a little measly Minnesota crime syndicate. Just a little bit of drugs, kid or two here and there. He seems too retarded for even that. Okay, so I don't know who's behind it. I have a feeling it's not him. But yeah, sorry, John, you were going to say something.
Well, it's just every government program is defrauded one way or the other because it's run by retards. So it's like it's not really anything to get up in arms about, because every government program has massive amounts of fraud.
Well, what about USAID though, John? What are we going to do without the money for the poor little colored children? What are we going to do if they don't get it? What are we going to do? What are white bitches in their 50s going to do if that little colored child doesn't get their fucking food stamps, John? I'm scared. I want USAID to be a thing. I'm nervous. If Elon Musk comes and takes that kid's money away, I swear I will march my fat ass white bitch ass down there and slap that son of a bitch with my purse. I'm going to burn him in a Tesla.
You're in a mood today.
These programs are important. I am in a mood today. But it's going to be fine. We're all fine. So yeah, weird shit. Government programs are nonsense for sure. It's just, and yet they make this stuff so weirdly obvious in the media. Like that is obviously not super well hidden. One of those daycare signs was like clearly misspelled.
Well, yeah.
Who's not noticing that in that town?
The phone number going to the governor's office.
Right.
Like, come on.
This is ridiculous. Either you wanted to get caught or you're just setting up him to be a patsy. One of the two, which I guess either way you're wanting to get caught. But like, there's no way the school for special children that we have here in this town could do a better job of running a crime syndicate than it's allegedly being done by these people. It's ridiculous to think that, oh my God, it's just got out that we're funding a bunch of child trafficking with government funds. It's just happened. Damn it. Just sometimes things slip out. Jeez. Get a loose butthole and sometimes things slip out. Just walrus. So, anything else on Tim the Walrus Waltz, John, before we move on?
No, I have to look into this a little bit more to actually see what's going on. I haven't really paid that much attention to it.
Fair enough. I mean, he allegedly will be facing criminal charges for his alleged activities, but again, I think this is all in its relative infancy as far as him going to trial and all that. There's more and more information coming out about it, but who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? So, speaking of children, you know what kind of sons of bitches are dirty? Kids. And you know what people out there in the world are worried about for some strange-ass reason? Dirt and germs. Because we're worried about germs because it's 2025, and we're just very worried about germs. You have to be clean and safe, and if you're not clean and safe, you're a little bitch. And we don't like little bitches, so you need to be clean and safe. What is this, Fox, right? Was this Fox? The CNN? Who was this? I can't remember. Let's see. It was Fox. Put out this story about, and this is such a clickbait headline. Like, all stuff like this is obviously out there, because I think even like people my age and younger are getting a little bit disillusioned after living through 2020 with all the contagion bullshit, right? Like, I think people who lived through 2020 under the age of like 43 are so disillusioned with this fear of, oh my goodness, you're going to walk outside and you're going to get a virus and die. I think a lot of people are completely disillusioned with that at that point. This is obvious. This headline is obviously crafted to absolutely grab a boomer straight by the testicles and reel them in. Like, grab them directly from the taint and direct them to this article. World's most contagious virus detected at 2 major U.S. airports amid holiday traffic. Oh my gosh. And you might have to travel, and you might get exposed to one of these kids. They're so fucking dangerous. Mimi might get a small cold and drop dead on the plane. Like, that's essentially the kind of fear they're trying to drum up here. I don't know how these boomers, they've lived to be 60. How do you not notice the kind of bullshit fear headlines that are being thrown your way? Okay? So that's point number one. B, why are we so worried about the measles? Let's listen to just a little bit of this video they put out there real quick. It's just complete fear porn. Even the damn, the damn, what is it? The thumbnail screen, like, the holding screen shows like 111 confirmed cases. Be scared. These cases have been confirmed. All right? Some blue-haired liberal at the CDC confirmed this case. All right? She even took her butt plug out for long enough to figure out what was going on at her job to confirm this case. She has made sacrifices for you. All right, we're back in.
In Spartanburg County, South Carolina, are in quarantine due to a
254. Sorry, I keep interrupting, but 254 in quarantine? Are you kidding me? Who's complying with that now? Who are the wieners? Wieners is a great word. I love the word wieners. I think it's hilarious. Who are the wieners who are complying with that? And we're back in. Sorry.
Confirming 111 active cases. This marks the second U.S. measles surge this
Be scared.
year with
the second surge.
1,912 cases.
Skip ahead a little bit. All right, here. Yeah, this white bitch.
Absolutely. Lots of evidence of community spread of measles, not just
this lady's allegedly a doctor.
But throughout the country as well. We're seeing rising numbers. As you have mentioned, hundreds of kids and people who have been infected, even more in quarantine. And to be honest, this is somewhat expected as we see declining vaccination rates.
All right, there it is. You had to know it was coming, folks. This is to be expected as we see declining jab rates amongst our populace. You see, what we've noticed is fewer and fewer kids are being diagnosed as autistic at the age of 3, and we're worried that these sons of bitches are going to grow up and actually have brains, so we would like to scare you into jabbing your kids with as much thimerosal as possible, so please go get your kid jabbed. It's very important for the public health. You're telling me this random white hot bitch that they put on this show actually knows and believes that? I can almost guarantee you she herself does not jab her kids. What was that? Wasn't it like the head of Pfizer who very famously said, like, I absolutely do not inject my kids with that stuff?
Yeah.
This is some nonsense. No self-respecting physician who actually knows what the hell is going on with this stuff jabs their kids with this nonsense. And even the ones that don't do it according to schedule at all. But what we're noticing is that as people wake up to the idea of this stuff being potentially very harmful for a developing brain, right? They're not doing it. I work in the health insurance industry. I see a lot of cases where parents are deciding to, at a minimum, delay the schedule. At a minimum, delay it. And Big Pharma's pissed about it. This white bitch is pissed about it because they're gonna scare people into thinking they need to do it because of this whole concept of like it being dangerous to the public health. So you know what I was curious about? I wanted to find out what are the symptoms of measles because I've never had measles. I don't know anybody that's had measles because we're all autistic because we were jabbed as kids. Okay, and one of the biggest concerns when it comes to the measles virus is the idea of like a high fever and the encephalopathy, the swelling of the brain that comes from such, okay? Which can make you retarded if it goes unchecked, okay? So super high fevers and brain swelling can damage the brain and cause your kid to be retarded. Now, that's best I can tell. This is not medical advice, by the way, folks. Best I can tell, that's pretty damn rare, okay? And even if it does happen, like there are a lot of methods of getting a temperature down, trying to reduce swelling. This is a thing people do, even in modern medicine. Like, we have anti-inflammatory agents out there. If shit hits the fan, there's a reason emergency rooms are a thing, okay? They're not my favorite place, but when shit hits the fan, they are a nice place to go. That being said, one of the biggest things people are concerned about, high temperature, encephalopathy. Guess what the symptoms of the jab for this thing are? High temperature, encephalopathy, and a whole mess of other random shit that could also make your kid retarded. You're afraid your kid's going to become retarded if they get this disease. They're almost sure to become retarded if they get the thing that will keep them from getting this disease. It's absolutely insane, the kind of logic these people try to play around with, because it's not logic at all. It's just fear porn. It's just these fear tactics to scare people into complying with these nonsense ideas. John, do you have anything on this particular topic?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few. I would encourage everybody to go read
The Contagion Myth?
Well, The
by Tom
Contagion
Cowan?
Myth by Tom Cowan, but also go read, it might be Tom Cowan's article that he wrote for the Weston Price Foundation over children's fevers.
Oh, yeah.
That's very important for people to read. Fevers are not an illness.
Right.
Right. They are a healing mechanism of the body.
Yep.
And it's very, very important that you don't treat them as an illness,
Yep.
especially in children. But I wanted to hark on something that you said of like people are kind of waking up to it. We experienced this literally last night, with our waiter when we went out to dinner.
We did. Yeah, we went out to dinner here in
because
Cologne. Yeah.
Robert had brought up in his just incredible infinite autism and passion. He had brought up how Louis Pasteur worshipped Satan.
Yeah.
And then you had brought up terrain theory, and he walked off, looked it up on his phone, came back to us, and he's like,
Holy
that's
shit.
the craziest shit I've ever heard. I didn't realize that like germ theory sounds insane when you actually think about it.
It does, yeah.
And like you could just see just in like a 30-second conversation when you brought that up, like kind of the wheels turning in his brain.
Yeah.
And now I would bet that he's probably going to go off and think about a lot of things that, he didn't realize before.
Hell yeah.
And it's just like, it's so easy now, I think, after people having the lived experience of the retardedness that was 2020, people are really, really opened, especially in kind of the healthcare space of kind of these new holistic alternative medicine ideas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it was wild last night to kind of get to watch somebody like wake up very quickly in real time.
Yeah.
That was super neat.
Yeah.
What were you saying about people waking up to holistic healthcare ideas? I missed the last bit of that.
Well, it's just that it's like it is really, really prevalent now.
Yeah. It's happening more and more. I mean, especially after all the nonsense that went down in 2020, right? It was kind of the veil got lifted off of all of the bullshit that is modern allopathic medicine. And a lot of people started to wake up. And of course, there is still a ton of people out there who were like, doctor this, doctor that, I need to go get my allergy shot, all of this nonsense, right? But I'm meeting more and more people who, like, even if they're not fully tipped over, right? Even if they're not fucking rubbing their dick with a tuning fork and, like, you know, whatever else people do out there, which I'm not against that, don't get me wrong, but even if they're not doing all that stuff, like, they're not giving their kid red dye, you know? Or they are delaying the schedule, or they've cut out, you know, some of the toxins that are in a lot of foods, or they don't use pharmaceuticals, or they've started to shift over to X or Y or Z. And so it's these little small changes and shifts that are honestly kind of exciting to me. Like, it gives me a little bit of hope for the next generation of kids that will maybe be a little less retarded than we are, okay? Because that's all I'm looking for, just a little less generational retardation. That's what we're looking for, folks. Don't do better than your dad did, just be a little bit less retarded. That's all we're looking for. I think that's the tagline for this episode. And it feels like in at least some pockets of society, we're heading that way. And the thing that I like about this particular video is it kind of highlights that. This attractive white doctor lady bitch comes on and says, like, oh my gosh, we're watching jab rates go down, and that is likely the cause of these outbreaks. And so the number one thing people can do is go make sure their kid gets the scheduled shit. Gets the scheduled shit. And so, like, it makes me feel a little bit excited about the fact that they feel the need to come out and say this, speak against the idea of letting your kid just be a damn kid. I don't know when the idea entered, this mind virus entered into people's brains that, like, your kid's not good enough the way they are. This is, and I harped on this, I think the last ep or two, I'll try to keep this short, but this is some complete logical fallacy. People have this idea, people who either say they're religious / spiritual or say they're like fully tipped over into science and Darwinism, right? Think that their kid needs some shit to be better than just being a kid. One way, are you so arrogant as to think like modern science is gonna do better than God? Right? Or are you so arrogant to think that your dumbass intervention is going to do better than this evolution you hold up to be like the perfect tuning fork for humanity? You know? Like, there's no logical argument for a lot of this stuff. It's just nobody sits down and actually thinks about it for longer than 15 fucking seconds before a physician in a white coat tells them, oh my gosh, some scary shit could happen if you don't do this. Don't worry about the fact that I can pocket a few $1,000s if we get your kid all the... Don't worry about that. That's not important. I just care about you. I'm not concerned about the money. I just care about you. It's insane. And if you sit here and think about it, it seems ridiculous. It's just, when do you ever have the opportunity to sit down and really reason it out?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point. And isn't the measles one of those diseases that a lot of like the alternative medicine people say is like, hey, it's actually, for most kids, it's good that they get this disease because it helps them kind of build up different protections for later on diseases down in life, right? Because I've heard that around to, like, you know, kids who get the measles, it's like a lot of them don't really have the same like risk of like developing cancers and stuff like that.
Autoimmune disease is another one. Allergies is another one. And again, not medical advice, but one of the things that I've like been in and around the whole holistic healthcare community a lot growing up, and I worked in it for a very short period of time. Then I worked in pharmaceutical research for a little bit, which was ironic. But one of the things you do here, and so it's hard to fund studies for like natural health care, right? There's not money in that. But one of the things you hear is a lot of these childhood diseases, when kids are actually able to like go through them, they do end up with better downstream protection against cancer, autoimmune disease, lower rates of autism. They don't deal with allergies as much. Like there are a whole host of issues that you and I probably deal with and may continue to deal with, that kids who experience those childhood diseases, which seem to have a purpose. And that's, again, I don't want to get too far down this contagion rabbit hole. Maybe we can do an app on it. But like, I'm not completely, like, I'm not sold on the idea that there's some kind of thing that's exchanged, you know, to make you feel bad in these cases. A lot of them seem like almost this natural part of your development as a young person, as a little person. And Tom Cowan, even, I think it's him, discusses the idea of like the fact that when your kid's born, when that little bastard comes out of the vag, okay, they have too many like neurons. The brain is born with far more neural tissue than you'll actually use. And one of the methods through which children trim a lot of that neural tissue is by high fevers.
Right.
It's essentially planned, structured brain damage for a reason, though.
Yeah.
And so I've heard that. I've heard a lot of things.
That's in the article he wrote for Weston Price.
Yeah. Okay. I thought so.
Yeah.
So I've heard a lot of theories like that. I'm not sure how correct they are. I'm sure there's some element of truth to the majority of them. But the one thing I know for certain is Big Pharma's full of shit. They just want to keep you sick. They just want your money. And I'm encouraged by the fact that we feel the need to come out and tell people, oh my gosh, measles rates are going up. We're scared. What if you take something home to Mimi? I mean, it was the exact same play in 2020, right?
Yeah.
You could kill your grandmother.
Yeah, but this just, you can just tell this is not going to work, you know?
Yeah, this doesn't seem to have the bite in it that a lot of the stuff did in 2020. I don't know if it was because like what they were doing seemed so novel to the populace back then, right? Because we hadn't pushed a psyop of that magnitude in a few years. It had been since 9/11, right? That we had pushed that big of a psyop, it feels like. Now it's like, this was 5 years ago, bitch. We all still remember it. Shut the fuck up. Move on. Like, pick a different thing. Let's bomb some Somalian pirates. Let's fucking give some money to, pick something people are on board with. Let's talk about chicks with dicks reading to children. Something, but nobody's buying this shit right now. Nobody's buying it. Period. Point blank.
No.
All right. Anything else on this, John, before we move on?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, I do think it is just massively encouraging kind of the Gen Z kind of rejection of mainstream pharmaceutical healthcare.
Yeah. It's happening more and more, and it's encouraging, also frustrating because it's hard to find a holistic practice I can just get into. But yeah, I mean, you're seeing more and more people actually reject allopathic medicine. I'm not talking about these white bitches who are like, I do essential oils, and all they do is just like shove sourdough bread in their face all day, pretend it's healthy, take a couple drops of like oregano oil at night, and pretend they're not disgusting. I'm not talking about people like that. I'm talking about people who actually like go fucking, have some chickens at their house. People who don't jab their kids. People who, instead of worrying about fevers, are like, oh, okay, maybe this is my body trying to heal itself. People who choose to engage with things like fasting. People who choose to focus on their sleep instead of going and getting Ambien, People who are actually interested, and it does seem to be far more prevalent now than it ever has. Because when I was growing up, again, sorry I'm waxing poetic on this, folks. When I was growing up, like, I came from like this weird fucking hippie family who was into that type of shit, and there were other families who would like, yeah, we like the holistic stuff. I have this package full of processed ingredients, but it says holistic on it right here. Can you read that? It says all natural. It's got all natural red 7, yellow 5, but it's all natural. They said it was on the package. Like, that's some bullshit. We are seeing actual people out there starting to wake up, and it's very encouraging in the healthcare community.
Like when you were growing up, I've heard you say it many times, it's just like the ability to find like a Whole Foods like grocery store and like Whole Food like meat vendors was really, really difficult.
People
you know,
thought we
in
were
the
weird
90s.
for going to those.
And like, you know, now it's like, you know, we have one right down the street, a butcher shop down the street that like, that's part of their marketing strategy is like, hey, we don't jab our animals. Hey, we don't give them any antibiotics.
Right.
We don't give them any added hormones. And it's like, it
graze.
gets people into the door.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good point, is the fact that those marketing strategies
Yeah.
work now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's even more encouraging to me is I'm seeing more and more people reject those corporate faggy entities like Whole Foods now because they don't even want to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah,
they're
realizing
going to
fake.
the farmer's market.
Yeah.
They're going to the farmer. They're saying, "Hey, man, do you have some raw milk?" You know, which is
Yeah.
ironically illegal to sell in the state of Tennessee. But they're saying, "Hey, man, do you have some of that? Can I get some so I can give it to my kid?"
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it is encouraging the rejection of allopathic medicine on the whole. Again, if you break your leg, please go to the emergency room. But cancer, diabetes, all of that shit, like, it's crazy we're dealing with it. You can fix it. It's just a matter of paying the farmer, not paying the doctor.
Amen to that. I think we can leave it on that.
Yeah. So, speaking of wild shit, we're drone striking Venezuela again. All I could think of when I was reading through this article, I didn't even read the whole thing this time, was like, are they just used to it in Venezuela by now? Are these people just fucking used to it? I just imagine like this Venezuelan crime family, because all these people are trying to do, allegedly, is just smuggle a few drugs across the Atlantic Ocean. This is not that big of a deal, okay? If you're that pissed about it, start making the drugs here instead of paying people to bring them here and then blowing them up, okay? You get to pick one or the other. You get to run drugs, CIA, or blow people up who are making the drugs. You don't get to do both, okay? So fucking pick one. But all I can imagine with this sweet little crime-loving family where, like, the husband wakes up to go check on a noise in the night, you know, and the little Venezuelan wife is like, "Go back to bed, honey. It's just the U.S. bombing us again. Just go back to bed. It's just another drone strike. Come on, Jorge. Just come back to bed. Come back to bed. It's just another drone strike, Jorge. Come give me that sweet, sweet beanie cock." Oh, jeez. That's all I could imagine, because these sons of bitches have to be so used to it by now. And also, you brought this up the other day. Where's the damn Twitter document, John? Who was it that they gave they gave out like carte blanche to pirates in the Atlantic to combat cartels outside of U.S. borders?
This was a bill that I don't know what happened to it, but I saw that they were introducing this in Congress, and it's just like, this is freaking awesome. Like, this is
Patriots of the Caribbean
century awesomeness. Is like Pirates of the Caribbean shit. Go and freaking commandeer drug boats on behalf of the U.S.
Senator Mike Lee's bill authorizes privateers, which is pirates, to combat cartels outside the U.S.
So funny.
So if you have your own boat, okay, if you're the middle-class family that has their own fucking yacht,
that would be just rednecks on their pontoon boats, just going out in the Gulf of America, and
praise Dale or go to hell. Give us them damn cocaines. You guys got the cocaines, the marijuanas? Praise Dale. Give us them coca leaves. The Coca-Cola leaves, whatever the fuck they are. Give us them. That would be amazing. Just a bunch of mullets out there attacking a Venezuelan boat. Yeah. That has to be a documentary like 10 years from now.
That would be awesome.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I don't know who that would star, but it would be glorious. I would love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. But yeah, we're giving people the authority to go pirate. We're making America great again. Finally, it's actually happening. We're saying, well, I guess we're making the Atlantic great again. Go be a pirate in the Atlantic. That seems great.
Yeah.
Right. That seems like a good way to go make a fortune.
Just think about like sending like if you've ever watched the show Swamp People, where they like hunt alligators, like those types of people.
Yes.
Would be the people that you would get to do this.
Just the scum of the Cajun world. There's a little old man here. He's all a gator. Gator here. But your gator truth. How? Oh, Susie. Boudin. Yeah. That is exactly who you would imagine doing this. Yeah. Some guy who used to sell slaves up and down the Mississippi River. Like, he would be the guy to go do this. Tell me I'm wrong, folks.
Probably not.
Tell me I'm wrong. That is exactly the kind of person you imagine doing this. Gosh.
So fully support of this. Absolutely hilarious.
And it'll get all of these alleged racist rednecks we're worried about out of the country, and instead of selling a certain kind of people, they'll sell pirates. That's perfect. Or they'll sell cocaine. That's better than selling a person, right? I feel like cocaine is better than selling a person. If I were going to sell one or the other, I would pick cocaine. Just saying. And that's my controversial statement of the week. Right. Okay, a couple more articles. We do have to shut this down soon. A couple more articles that I wanted to go through really quickly. This article on MSN highlighted the fact that there's a new bill from the Trump administration that will incentivize whistleblowers who draw the government's attention to potential DEI fraud. They will get 15 to 25% of the settlement. I don't think any of that's actually gonna come to fruition, but I think it's hilarious that we're offering people who blow the whistle on DEI bullshit a cut of the winnings. I think that's great. I love the idea of that. I think that is America all the way. That's amazing. And so I just wanted to highlight that on here because I think that's hilarious. I will be making up a DEI case at work this week and blowing the whistle on it. We'll keep you guys updated with how that goes. We'll see if Jerome, gets accused or not. We'll find out. So that's really all. Anything on that, John, before we move on?
No.
Okay.
Jeez.
And then lastly, this is a weird one, and we have one special treat. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing again, John, after this is over. We have Virginia is putting a law, I think it's already passed on the books, to enforce age verification on social media to limit children under the age of 16 to 1 hour of social media time per app per day for children under the age of 16 without a parent's consent. They are authorizing any kind of I can't remember the exact terminology. I think it was technologically appropriate means necessary to commercially reasonable methods. That's what they said, to restrict anyone under 16 to 1 hour per platform per day. Now let's think about this for a minute. It sounds nice in the beginning, right? Cyberbullying. My kid's a little bitch and people cyberbully him, and I don't want him to be on there more than an hour per day because little Timmy, even though he's going to grow up to be a faggy bitch, I'm worried that he might get cyberbullied to death and I'm scared, right? So I want this law to do my parenting for me. It sounds nice, right? We're going to protect these kids from being fat sacks of shit who scroll on TikTok all day. It's a nice concept, but the problem comes in, as we all know, I don't think this is news for anybody, but it's the kind of give them an inch, they'll take a mile concept, right? It's great that kids aren't going to be on social media all the time, but A, if you think this is going to work, you're full of shit. People love their social media. They're not going to stop being on it. B, the government has no business interfering in a parent's right to parent their kids. If these sons of bitches in Virginia want to raise retards, it's their damn right to do it, okay? If they want to let their little fat fuck of a 15-year-old sit on social media all day, every day, it's their own right. It's fun Darwinism at play, okay? These people say they believe in that sort of bullshit. Fucking let them, all right? Let that kid rot if that's what their parents want. It's up to mom and dad. And when that kid moves out of the house, God love them. Hopefully they get off the social media. But it's a parent's right to act like a retard if they want to. I actually wrote on my damn piece of paper, I can raise a retard if I want to, because I thought that was kind of funny. But the government interfering in this sort of thing isn't gonna stop there. How long is it gonna take before it moves from, hey, we're limiting 16-year-olds to an hour per app per day to 18-year-olds, to we're gonna make sure that we're policing everything our adults watch every day? Because, John, why would you be looking up videos about firearms? You have no reason to do that. You're not a violent person. Why would you look those up? And it's just gonna expand from there. This never stops where they say it will, and it won't here. This is the first step towards mass internet censorship, and it should make people uncomfortable. And I get it. The idea of your kid not spending all day on social media is nice. How about you fucking parent and not expect the government to do that for you? Okay? Sometimes parenting means having difficult conversations with your kids. You got to deal with that shit. You can't expect TikTok to just shut off after an hour. The whole point of growing up is learning the discipline to be a damn adult. Something I didn't learn until much later in life, so I'm still struggling with it. But guess what? That's something we've all got to fucking learn. The government stepping in and doing it for you isn't going to solve anyone's problem. So to all the normies out there who think this is a good idea, it's not. It will not stop there. And people need to either vote against this or just not comply with it, okay? This kind of thing is ridiculous. Keep your kid off the social media. But this type of nonsense, the government has no business sticking their hands in, period. Anything on this, John?
Yeah, I mean, if this isn't a classic Hegelian dialectic, I don't know what is.
Absolutely
because
is,
it's like, not to say like government has created this problem, but like the kind of government, corporate kind of hybridization in the society we live in has created this problem, right? And they're not going to be the ones to fix it, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So it's like, yeah, just parent your kids. That's not really, much more to say to that. And like, this is very, very clearly aimed at like the kind of right-wing conservative ilk who's really, really big on trying to, it's now that I kind of think about it, it's the way that they're kind of, I think, trying to maybe subvert a little bit of this kind of a rise in like, the Gen Z of, hey, we want to live a more disciplined lifestyle, right? Because you see a lot more of people in Gen Z doing that. They're more active, they're eating less shit, right? They're disengaging from a lot of this social media stuff. And it's kind of a way to just kind of subvert that natural, like,
you don't have to. The government will do it for you.
Yeah.
Let Big Brother handle it for you.
That's just their kind of way to like take that and use it for a very nefarious purpose.
Yeah. No, I think you're dead on accurate. We're seeing, like you said, people trying to put more discipline in place in their lives. We don't want that. Let the fucking government do it for it. Let Big Brother step in and handle it. Don't you worry about building a better life for yourself. No. Let Big Brother do it. Because who's a lot easier to control? The person who has no idea what's going on. The person who lets you literally have to give over your self-agency. And this is another way people will feel okay doing that. You make an excellent point, John. Yeah, absolutely right. So, and they always find a way to sneak it in to where like the emotional argument sounds nice, right? The emotional argument of this is the internet's bad for kids. Do you not love your kids? Why wouldn't you want your kid to be, protected from all the stuff they might see online? Do you hate children? But the fact of the matter is, the kind of child this will eventually breed is going to be so like undisciplined, so ill-prepared to face reality, they're not going to know which way is up. It's going to be bad in the long run. It's just, people don't realize that, and it's presented with this whole, well, you love your kid, don't you? Type thing, which is absolutely disgusting. The fact that they're using people's family, people's children against them. It's wild.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It's this whole idea of just like, don't you worry about that. Big Brother's got it. Big Brother's fucking got it. We got it. And it's disgusting.
Yeah. And Nuff Hunter, you're absolutely right. My point was more is like there's a system that's created to try and like encourage parents to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Especially when you look at like the weird like kids entertainment and like educational entertainment that's perpetuated out there.
Miss Rachel?
That kind of bullshit is they're really like they have created a system that like almost like weirdly ascribes as like this is the virtuous thing to do is like you're educating your kids by exposing them to all this crap, and then as they get into more young adulthood, teenage to young adult, it's what they know.
Yeah.
It's like training that habit in them.
And the dichotomy there is like, if you're a good parent and your kid watches some of this stuff, sometimes it's fucking okay. Like,
right.
That is absolutely okay. If you buy, an hour and a half to take a nap one day with a little bit of Miss Rachel, like, God love you. Take care of yourself. Like, that shit's there for a reason. Please use it. But if you're using this stuff as like this damn it, I lost the term, but this like way to raise your kids, that's a different discussion. That's a completely different discussion. That's tantamount to handing your kid over to the government and letting them raise them. But yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. So before we go, last link, one last special treat. Before we get to that, folks, thank you for listening tonight. It's been a blast. If you think of anything you want us to talk about, if you have any ideas for topics, do feel free to DM us. Special shout out to Nephilim Hunter. Thank you for all the stuff you sent us this week. We really appreciate it. Then what else? Check us out on all the socials. Follow our YouTube. Follow our Twitter. We lost our Twitter. Please be sure to follow our Twitter. Some fun stuff coming down the line. We do have an episode coming out Saturday or Sunday, right? We'll be doing that Saturday or Sunday on UFOs, I believe. That'll be interesting. The episode about the Delphi murders.
Stream that.
With what?
I said we got to talk about when we want to stream that.
Yeah. Episode on the Delphi murders with Austin Picard is dropping tomorrow. Be sure to check that out. It's fantastic. For those of you who didn't catch it live, Austin's brilliant. He was just going berserk the whole time. It was amazing.
Yeah, we'll try to have part 2 of that scheduled for some time in January. We got to nail that down
if we can. Yeah, maybe it may be a little bit later than that, just depending on what our schedules end up like. But we'll try to get the part 2 of that scheduled sooner rather than later. What else? Catch us every Tuesday. It's 7 for Touch Me Tuesdays. We try to be as religious about this as we can every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
We've been better the past couple
We've been more consistent.
We've been hitting it pretty consistently.
Yeah. And then Friday, January 9th at 7 p.m. We're going to have the Biblical Hitman on. That should be a great time.
Yeah, Steven's
so
awesome.
Tune in for all those.
He's absolutely awesome. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. So a lot of fun stuff coming up. We're working on more more content. So stay tuned for a lot of that stuff. Be one of the early subscribers to our Patreon. You'll get free cool shit. We haven't decided what that'll be, but you'll get free cool shit. If you're one of the early subscribers to that. So anything else? What am I missing anything, John?
No, I don't think so. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, all that good shit. Scrolling across your screen. If you just want to donate, if you like the show, our PayPal is listed in the screen and in this QR code on Carson's camera.
There you go.
So feel free to check all those out. I don't have anywhere to send all of our Rumble viewers. Nobody I am following on our Rumble account is live.
That sucks.
So apologies there.
We need to follow more people.
Yeah. I follow a decent amount, but
we do.
I need to build this a little more. I don't really use our Rumble account that much.
I mean, we need to use it more often. We have Rumble Premium now, John.
I mean, when I watch videos, I just watch it on my personal one.
Well,
I guess I should watch it on this one because I don't have the fucking ads.
You should.
So
anyway,
I'm gonna start doing that.
So yeah, thanks again for listening, folks. And one last video to take us out.
Oh.
That's your cue, John.
I'm retarded. Is it this one?
Yes, it is. It's that one.
I just absolutely killed the creative whatever you had going on there.
I
So
know,
I apologize. So what do we got?
So take it off of mute.
This doesn't have me yet.
You're doing so good. Bottom right-hand corner of that screen.
Oh, it does.
Goblins hate 1776. George Soros, the Saruman of Middle-earth, has a gay son.
You're late.
A wizard is never late, Tucker Baggins. He arrives precisely when his globalist research is concluded. Ha 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 ha! I can't stand the globalists.
AI is getting weird. Check out our app on AI if you want, but AI is getting a little weird. I saw that and I just felt like we had to play that towards the end of an ep. So, thanks again for listening, folks, and we'll catch you.
Yeah, we'll see you this weekend.
Yeah, see y'all then.
So.
Bye.